Welcome to Doc Trailers, your source for information on documentary films. Today, Paul's going to be interviewing documentary filmmaker Deborah Herse. But first, let's check out the trailer for her doc film, A Miracle in a Day.
In 1932, it was started to help rescue women and children from the brothels.
A lot of these children have been rescued because of poverty circumstances, rescued from trafficking. They could be runaway children, they could be abandoned children.
এই জায়গাটা আমার বাড়ি থেকে আরো ভালো। আমি বড় হয়ে পাইলট হতে চাই। I want to be a doctor.
And পুলিশ হতে চাই।
They need love. Actually, they need love and they need attention.
যাদের কেউ নেই তাদের তো বেশি ভালোবাসা দিতে হয়, মায়ের জায়গাটা দিতে হয়।
And I'm working hard to have a bright future.
Well, on the outside.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute myself and I turn my video off. So it's just the two of you. And then I just chill and watch you guys, listen to you guys. I record everything. Then I take it in and edit it. Like I'm a Final Cut editor. So I put it in Final Cut, edit it, make pretty. I actually upres it to high definition too. I've got an AI program that does that. So this will be just great. And if anything, like if you don't like anything, we just clean it out, right?
Yeah.
But,
I was just on the phone with a friend who said, use the window light. And I'm like, but it's a really cloudy day. But I mean, I decided to try it. So look at that, my lamp versus just the window. Like, yo.
I think you look great.
Yeah, the window is real. It's a cloudy day and it's
I
soft
try
light.
to use that often. Our cameras are so smart. If you have that window light coming in from one side and a little fill, you look like a genius, like you had like 5 people, plugging lights in and stuff like that. These cameras are smart. They're just amazing.
Yeah, even the computer camera.
Yeah. And lately I've been using that too. In a couple of situations, my camera, I hit this automatic button. I couldn't figure out where it was. And I was in the middle of this thing. I said, ditch this, pick up this. And you know what? These little suckers do really well. And I used a bunch of the shots and it's, I don't have a gimbal or anything, pretty fluid.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we used to have is like a 30-pound camera on our shoulder. And it's like, then just, okay, well, we can start this out. So
I'm gonna give you a countdown, and then Paul, give me 3 seconds after I say go, and then I'll mute myself, and we'll be good to go. So 3, 2, 1.
And here we are again at Doc Trailers. This morning we are speaking to Deborah Herse, a longtime activist, producer, bon vivant, world traveler. And she made a film, A Miracle a Day. And don't we all need that? So, tell us, Deborah, about your film and what made you fall in love with this film, with this content.
Well, it was kind of your basic New York serendipity story. So a friend of mine, who's a running buddy, Kathy, she was at an art opening with her boyfriend, Robert, and she met Louise Nicholson and her husband. So, they bonded on all things art. and exchange contact information. So Louise was holding a gathering in her home in New York City as a, kind of fundraising event for a charity that she created in India, getting sponsors for people to commit to 10 years of sponsoring a specific child. And in doing so, truly change that child's life for the better forever. And it's a small scale charity, 300 children in 4 different homes in India. So Kathy called me up really short notice saying that her boyfriend, Robert, was stuck at a meeting at work. She was going to this gathering at this woman's house. It was about India. She knew I was a person who was connected to India. So she asked me to go in Robert's stead. It was, that serendipitous. Had Robert not been delayed at work, I may never have met Louise. So I went to this gathering, found out about the charity, and looked at the website. And because, the model of this charity is to give all the money to the children. So everyone involved is volunteering. The accountant volunteers, the web designer volunteers. And I just looked at the website and it was kind of meager. There was no video. And I said, you need some video and I'll do it. So that year I went to India, or maybe it was the following year, and shot at 2 of the 4 homes, and then went back the next year and shot at 2 of the other homes. And one of them, the All Bengal Women's Union in Calcutta, was the one that I was the most connected with and developed this whole project about. And I shot there in 2015, 16, and 17. And the film went to festivals in 2018 and 2019. And now it is on Alexander Street. It's part of a library called Women and Social Development from, oh gosh, I need to check that, through 1919 to 2019. So it's available for like academic people who would find it, looking for films related to women's issues.
And I find it really fascinating. And you said you went back that many times, and you start and you film over here, you film over here, you film over here. And then somehow, as a director, you must have started feeling the pulse, like, but these are the stories that I can tell. And I've got this other stuff, and it got me ready, but I'm not going there. I'm going here. Those decisions you make, that it's their emotional decisions, their production decisions. You click with the people. They're more how did that whole thing progress?
Well, my time was limited to the winter. So I just documented the events that were happening while I was there. And the whole home wasn't all kids that were supported by this charity. So the interviews that I did were mostly about those particular girls. But, I filmed all kinds of activities: the dance, the martial arts, the sports, the meals, the classrooms, the whole thing.
And have you had any follow-up with any of these children? I mean, do you know where they're at now? I mean, what difference has being in that school made? They went on. Are these children mostly Dalits in terms of their social class?
No, they are there for all different kinds of reasons. But, they got educations, and some of them went on to university, and they're living lives that they could not have otherwise. Yeah, and I was just in India, in Calcutta, in February, just a couple of months ago, and I met with a couple of the girls, and they're now young women, so, and it's just beautiful to see them. They've just become really lovely people.
And is this charity still ongoing?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh yeah, excuse me. It is called Save a Child, not to be confused with Save the Children, which is a major organization. It's Save the Child, and I think the website is savethechildindia.com. And yeah, check it out. Sponsor a girl or a boy.
God, that is great.
Yeah, and
Really,
the small scale of it is, just a beautiful thing, because this woman was a tour guide and an art journalist, and she just, was in Calcutta and realized, wow, I think I can do something to help these kids. And India had just given a lot to her, just intellectually, spiritually, and she felt compelled to give something back. And it really doesn't take a whole hell of a lot to give something back, ultimately. Louise Nicholson, please
wow.
look her up.
And you, I mean, you gave of your time, your intellect, your money. You did all this. Has this documentary been used for fundraising for
Yes.
that group?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's been shown at events and shorter versions of it, but and again at film festivals. So it's been out there in the world. It's brought in some revenue. And another really lovely thing was that all right, I'll say it. I made the film using music that I did not have the rights to. Okay. And then, but then after the film festival circuit was over, I went forward to get the rights. And these Indian composers very generously donated it.
Ah,
So I was using music from Bollywood films and very renowned composers and instrumentalists and singers, and it was donated.
mm.
Yeah.
I recently fell into a situation like that, and Bob Trench, my pal, helped me through it. And then I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Mm.
The marketing company said, "Oh, it's going to be this much money." I go, "Where am I going to get that?" And somebody says, "I'll pay for that." Wrote them back. They didn't write back, so Bob wrote them. And then they said, "Oh my gosh, we are so grateful to be part of your project. Yeah, we've given it to you pro bono." It's like,
Okay.
because I was having a hard time. I have a hard time if there's no music.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something about how the music fits into it and makes it flow, it makes it contiguous, and you can finish out scenes and you
Mm.
can let little things
Mhm.
happen. And then
Yeah.
otherwise it's talk, 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 talk. And the music just changes. I mean, and in mood wise,
Mm.
how it
Mhm.
emotionally impacts it. That is great. That's a great
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Mhm. There is generosity in the world. It is out there.
Yes. Yes, we hear too little of it, and
Yeah.
there's really a lot more than we hear of it. We
Yeah.
mostly just hear of the
Hmm.
horrible little things that are going on constantly and the people who are eating up media time, as opposed to the love and generosity of many.
Mhm.
So you just had another trip to India and you
Yeah.
visited with the children, and the school is in good shape.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't go to the school this time. It was a pretty brief turnaround, but I am Facebook friends with some of the girls, so I just contacted them, just independently.
Now, recently you've made some decisions about some of your other films, and do you want to talk about how you're using YouTube and putting some of your content on YouTube and how that's working out for you and how you feel about that?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well, kind of don't know totally how I feel about it. I just feel like I'm reaching an audience and I have no idea how or who they are, because I'm coming up on 20,000 subscribers And I think it's pretty much thanks to the YouTube algorithm. You know, we can, badmouth YouTube for all the evil it does in the world, but it does help drive an audience to your content if you just put in a little effort in your title and description. And those are the words that come up in people's searches, and then they get to your content. So I don't know, I get comments from time to time that are just people thanking me for putting out a positive message in the world. And that's worth it. I'm not making any money from it because I've got all this copyrighted music on my channel, but that's okay, because I'm never, ever going to be the kind of person who uploads daily or even weekly. So if it's only serve the purpose of reaching an audience, that's good enough for me.
And what's your channel? How do people
Just
find it?
my name, Deborah Harse.
Okay, we'll put a link to that so
Yeah.
people can find that and subscribe to your channel. What other documentaries do you have there, Deborah?
I did a series of music videos all around New York City during the pandemic, kind of because a lot of my European friends were contacting me, and Asian friends, especially in the height of it in 2020, when New York was kind of the epicenter of people dying and ambulance sirens blaring constantly. And people were saying, how is New York? What's happening in New York? And I just thought, okay, well, this is an historic time. So I think I'm going to put down this other project and just focus on documenting that. And it was pretty much all with a GoPro, just kind of cruising around town on my bicycle and showing people what was actually happening here.
What were your music choices, and how did that work with that?
Yeah, and that's just pure fun. On Earth Day in 2020, I just kind of thought, okay, well, Central Park is my reality and it's in full bloom. And I chose what for me is like a tear-jerkingly beautiful piece of music. That being John Coltrane's version of My Favorite Things. Yeah, so that was the spring. And then the summer was Janis Joplin's version of Summertime. And the autumn one was a duet between Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong doing Autumn in New York. And there was one that I did on the Gowanus Canal that was a barbershop quartet thing of Moonlight Bay, because it was a moonlight canoe ride. It was an organized thing with the Gowanus dredgers, who are, environmentalists cleaning up the city. So yeah, barbershop quartet.
Yeah, it's fun to get in and
Yeah.
mix it up and do something that's not long format, because
Yes.
long format, wow, that's like going through getting your bachelor's degree and then going on to grad school or something. I mean, it can be such a commitment over the years.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
myself started the film I'm finishing now in 2017, and I'm going to be finishing it this month. And it's just that I had all this other stuff happening, and then COVID and distribution.
Yeah.
You sign up, you go, oh, you fall in love, and then you go, wow, where did the time go?
Yeah.
And do you want to talk about your current project?
Okay, 4 years in. But I have to say, more accurately, I began it 4 years ago, but I cannot say I've been working on it for 4 years. Doing a lot of shooting, the editing, is not easy for me, because I came to this documentary filmmaking life from still photography, and the camera is the part of the process with which I am most comfortable and most happy. Even editing, the visual aspect of that, I kind of love, but directing, doesn't really come naturally. And this particular story, it's kind of a biopic, and I've not done that before, so there's a whole learning curve with that.
Yes.
It's about a marathoner with cerebral palsy who is an extraordinary person, and I might even go so far as to say legendary person. He's 70 now, and he's still doing marathons, and he has no use of his upper body. He just has a chair that was designed specifically for him, in which he kicks backwards. So he kicks out from the chair. There's one wheel behind him and wheels on either side of him. And he has guides who are also characters in the film. And they make sure he keeps, keeps in a straight line. But his name in the community is Backwards Bill, because he goes backwards. So if I can like demonstrate, I'm sitting in a chair here. So if I were Backwards Bill in my chair, I would be doing this for 26 miles,
Yikes.
just
That
saying.
takes persistence.
Yeah. And his whole life is just kind of all about all kinds of persistence. Yeah.
It is its own reward.
Yes, it most certainly is. And he's a friend of mine. I've known him probably for at least 10 years before I even had the idea of doing this film. And it was in 2019 when I was finishing up the festival circuit for A Miracle a Day, and I had no project in mind. And then I got home from India and like, oh, there's Bill. He's right in front of me. He's been there for a long time. It's a story. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good luck with that, and good luck with this. And we are gonna post your site so people can see your 4 seasons, your quartet there, and it's interesting. How can people see A Miracle a Day? Just go to Alexander Street. Is there
Yes.
any streaming for individuals, or is it all
Is it all? Yeah. Ooh, I actually don't know if you can excuse me one second here. I'm pulling up the exact name of the okay, Women and Social Movements is the catalog. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, people can go to Alexander Street and look for that and the film, and many others will be contained therein.
Well, that is great. Hey, and thank you for making time for us, and congratulations on the super work you've done. You know what I mean? You've really made a difference helping those young women at that school. It is a big deal. And we're really grateful for your time and your persistence and your catalog.
Okay. Thank you.